Hi class, in this video we are going to go over the course. I am going to show you the best way to navigate the course, as well as I am also going to briefly touch on the syllabus. So as you can see right here, we have a preview of this week's announcement, and then over here we have some quick links. You can see the syllabus, the modules, the link to the Zoom office hours, as well as the PDF links to our textbook. We don't have a textbook for this class, so you do not have to purchase anything. However, I do use these two textbooks that are completely free and they are linked online. They are a PDF file. So whenever the syllabus says volume 1 or volume 2, you can access them right here by downloading them, or you can just go ahead and read them by previewing them if the font is big enough for you. So here we have the book, and as you can see, we have the table of contents, so you can just go ahead and go to the page. So you don't have to actually download the PDF file, you can just read it from here. I would suggest to be careful if you're going to print out any of the chapters, just because you don't want to print out all 288 pages. But this is going to be our textbooks. These are going to be our textbooks, and as well as in the modules, I also add some links from other online textbooks, so everything is on there. All the reading material is going to be linked on Canvas, so everything is free. You do not have to purchase a textbook. And like I said, whenever you see that we have to read a chapter, I do indicate in the syllabus if it's volume 1 or volume 2. So here we have our syllabus, and I'm not going to go over the entire syllabus. I just want to point out some important information. The first thing I want to point out is how to contact me. This is my email address, natalie@nmsu.edu. However, I would prefer if you contacted me through Canvas inbox, simply because at this NMSU email address, I get a lot of emails from all over the place, from DACC, from NMSU. So usually the emails tend to get lost and it's just really difficult to keep up with them. Whereas Canvas inbox, that is only for students. So I am able to keep track of the student emails a lot better. So if you really want a quick response and you want to make sure that the email doesn't get lost, email me through Canvas inbox. I also have office hours. I have office hours at the Sunland Park campus on Tuesdays, and I have office hours at the Espina campus in my office on Wednesdays. However, if you ever want to meet, we can set up a Zoom appointment and we could try to schedule a time that works for the both of us. Or if you are not in town but you want to meet during this time, just let me know and I can meet with you during my office hours through Zoom if you cannot make it to that actual time. So besides the best way to contact me, I do have, here's something that I should point out. There is a program called Books for Less, which means that they charge you a flat fee for all of the books that you purchase per semester. Now, that's a really great option if you have a lot of books that you need to purchase. However, we don't need a book for this class. So let's say you're only taking this class, then it's probably in your best interest to opt out of this Book for Less. So I think they charge you, it's $24 per credit hour. So try to do the math. Multiply 24 by the number of credits that you are taking. If that is more than the amount of books that you need, like let's say you only need 2 books and they both cost $50, then obviously go ahead and opt out of the program. However, if you need 5 books and it costs you $500, and when you multiply this, it comes out to like $300, then obviously you should go ahead and stay in the program. So definitely do the math and look into this if you'd like. I do have a link, and there's also an email that you can email them for more information. But if you do not want to be part of this program, because let's say this is the only class you are taking and we don't need a book, we have a free textbook, then make sure you opt out of the program by September 1st of 2023. So here we have our outcomes. Here we have also our assignments, so you can go ahead and read these in more detail. One of the things I do want to point out are the discussion questions. We have discussion questions, and for all of them, you have to reply to at least one classmate. So the initial post which is basically your response to the main discussion, the one that I posted, the assignment, is due by Thursday. And then you have until Saturday to reply to a classmate. So make sure that your first post is due by Thursday. And then, like I said, you have until Saturday to reply to a classmate. I always have a lot of students that forget to reply to the classmate, and they end up getting like a C on the discussions instead of getting a full 10 out of 10. Now, one of the things to keep in mind as well is that your discussion post should be a well thought out post. So make sure you use proper English, proper grammar, but also make sure that you develop your ideas sufficiently. Don't just write a short answer. Make sure you actually develop your ideas, provide examples, and an explanation. Here we have the assignments that we are doing, so you can go ahead and look at the point system. The point system is pretty straightforward. It's basically, I added all these up, so these are the possible points, and then to get your score, you just divide up how many points you have by 645. Here we have the late work in classroom management. Basically, you want to make sure that you're respectful with everybody at all times, even though it is an online class. Whenever you are interacting with myself or with people, you want to make sure that you are respectful. Now, when it comes to attendance and late work policy, you do want to make sure that you log in at least weekly, because you are supposed to attend the class. So even though it's online, you are supposed to be present. If it's a hybrid course, then you are supposed to meet in person for that day and then do the rest of the work online. So it's very important that you log in, because if you don't log in, you won't be able to complete the assignments, which could result in a failing grade. When it comes to late work policy, I don't accept late work unless you let me know ahead of time and you let me know about what's going on. So let's say you have some emergency or some issue going on, I will definitely go ahead and let you know if you can make up the assignment. Now, please keep in mind that I do have to follow DACC policy as well. So like, let's say you're working late and you couldn't submit the assignment. That doesn't really count as an excused absence under DACC policy, so that probably wouldn't be a good excuse. Or if your internet is not working, that's not a valid excuse either, because DACC does offer free Wi-Fi at their computer labs, and they also have hotspots at the campuses where you can go in your car, park outside, and use the Wi-Fi there. So Wi-Fi connection issues, computer malfunctions, things like that, they don't really count as an excuse, so you want to make sure that you avoid those. Also, another thing to keep in mind is all of these assignments are already listed, so you have at least a week to complete them, right? So if you are having internet issues, I would always suggest, obviously sometimes the light, the electricity goes out, the internet goes out, and we don't, obviously those things we cannot plan, but you can still try to not submit your assignment at the very last minute. Like, you can try to submit your assignment 2 or 3 hours ahead of time, just in case anything goes wrong. Now, of course, if you do lose electricity or something like that happens, try to email me from the Canvas app on your phone so that we can try to make arrangements. But like I said, typically if it's like an emergency or you're going through a serious issue in your life, I do work with you and I do let you make up the assignments as you go. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is don't just email me an assignment, because I might tell you, oh, I'll open up the assignment for you so you can submit it through there. So it's always best to email me first and then we can discuss it, and then I'll let you know which is the best way to submit the assignment. Also, because sometimes what you're going through might be very serious. Like, sometimes I have students who have to be hospitalized and they're worried about their grade, and they tell me, I can submit it tomorrow. And I tell them, no, just wait till you're out of the hospital, take some time to recover, and in a week you can submit the assignment. Now, sometimes I do wish I could give you a lot more time, but because we only have 16 weeks out of the semester, sometimes I can't give you as much time as I would like. But if it's a very serious issue that you're going through, I try to give you like at least a week or two to get everything in order, and then you can make up the assignment. So whatever it is, please make sure that you contact me Communication is very important, and it's also very important that you contact me as soon as possible rather than waiting 5 weeks after you've missed like 10 assignments. Or some people sometimes wait till the end of the semester to let me know, and by that time it's too late because they missed 28 assignments. So please let me know as soon as possible. Something else that I do want to point out is that the quizzes, the writing exercises, and the essays, they all have a 1-day grace period. So basically what that means is that you can submit a quiz, a discussion, or the essay 1 day late without any penalty. So if you notice for the due date of those assignments, it'll have a due date, but then it says it's available until Monday or until Saturday if it's a quiz. Basically what this means is that you get 1 free day to submit it late. However, this does not apply to discussions. Discussions cannot be submitted late under any circumstances because they are submitted in a live forum. So for all of the assignments, you get a 1 day late grace period. However, not for the discussions. The discussions, those cannot be made up at all. And when we do communicate through discussions or online, you want to make sure that you follow this etiquette for online classes. Some of it is pretty obvious, but other things might not be as obvious. So just make sure that you keep in mind at all times that we are in an academic setting. So even though you're chatting with somebody online through an online discussion, you still have to make sure that everything we type in there is relevant to the course and is respectful and appropriate. So finally, down here we have some important dates, and then we have, I should mention that you want to look at this just because this has the information of when is the last day to withdraw, when is the last day to add a class, things like that. And then down here I have the schedule. As you can see, I separated it into the readings and what is due for that week. So for example, for week 2, we have to read this, and then these are the assignments that are due. So I definitely encourage you to look at the syllabus so that you can keep track of the assignments. However, I also post announcements every single Monday to let you know what is due that week. So if looking at the whole entire schedule and the syllabus is a little bit overwhelming, then you can just go ahead and look at the announcement for that week, and I let you know what we have due for that week, just like right here. So that might be a better option for some of you because it's week by week. However, you still want to look at the syllabus just in case to see what is coming up. And some people do rely on the calendar, but I have to be honest with you. I've had students that sometimes tell me like, oh, well, the calendar didn't remind me, or it didn't say in the calendar. That's why trust the calendar, but don't rely on it, because Canvas can have glitches, things can happen. So that's why it's always better to just rely on the syllabus and my announcement that I posted for that week. Now, when you click here to start here, it's going to take you to the first module, and the first module has a lot of important information. It lets you know how to download Office 365 because, for example, for this class, since we're submitting written documents, you don't want to submit files that I cannot open. I have a lot of students that submit pages, which is the pages files, and I cannot open those unless I'm on my MacBook. I cannot even see them on Canvas. I have to download them and then I have to grade them. But if I'm on an HP computer, I cannot download them or I cannot see them at all. So to avoid that, the only file that you can submit is a Word file or a PDF file. And if you don't have Word, you can go ahead and download it, and it is free. You can download it on multiple devices as well. But definitely take advantage of this because as a student, you have Office 365 for free. So you can download it to your device, or you can also use it online and log in so that you can use it from any computer. And I also have instructions on how to set up notifications for Canvas. I really encourage you to download the Canvas app and set up notifications. That way you're notified whenever I post an announcement, whenever I grade something, whenever something is added. Whatever you want to be notified of, you can go ahead and set up the notifications here. So I definitely encourage you to do that. That way you don't miss out on anything. Here, again, I have some important information. You will find this video. I also have the student learning outcomes. I talk a little bit about my grading. With grading, it typically takes me about a week to grade the assignments. However, I do have 5 English classes, so that is a lot of reading and a lot of writing. And I do read everything that my students write. So sometimes if I have multiple essays due within a week, it takes me a little bit longer to get those essays graded. But for the most part, I do grade everything within a week, sometimes within a week or two. So when it comes to grading, I do leave feedback on the actual essay. I also fill out a rubric sometimes, and I also leave comments on the submission box. Sometimes for like the writing exercises, there is no rubrics, but I will go ahead and leave comments. So if you want to know how to access all of that information, because some people just look at the submission box, other people don't even look at the rubric, or they don't even look at the comments I leave within the essay. If you don't know how to do all that, make sure you click on this file right here, and it'll show you how you can view the rubric, how you can view the assignments within the essay, and things like that. So as you can see right here, it tells you what to click on. Like for example, if you want to view your rubric, you would click on this icon. If you want to click on the actual comments that I left, you can go ahead and click on this icon, because as you can see, the submission box comments are very clear, but then if you want to view the other comments or feedback, that's kind of hidden. Unless you know what these icons mean, you won't be able to access it. I also have a video on how to submit an assignment and a video on plagiarism. So basically it tells you how to access your originality score. I should point out that I use the Turnitin function through Canvas, and I don't use it to try and catch you plagiarizing. I use it so that you know if your paper is being flagged as plagiarized. That way you can fix it before I actually grade it. So make sure you look at the originality report and make sure that it's not too high. Like anything above a 50% is a little bit high, because basically what that would mean is that 50% of your paper is plagiarized. Now the NMSU plagiarism policy has changed a little. So now if you plagiarize, I give you a 0, and I cannot let you make up that assignment unless I report it. If I report it, then you and I have to show up for this meeting, and basically it's like a little trial where we both present our evidence and then they make a decision. So I honestly think that plagiarism is not worth it, so just do your own writing. The Turnitin also identifies artificial intelligence, so any AI writing, it'll actually identify it as well. So just make sure you avoid plagiarizing and everything will be fine. Now when it comes to the formatting of essays, everything is going to be in APA style, and you can use Times New Roman or Calibri. And I also have some links in case you need help with Canvas. And of course at the very end I have the syllabus and what we are doing for the first week. So I already went over basically like the syllabus and this page, which contain a lot of important information. So the best way to navigate this course is through the modules. So you can click here or you can click here, whatever you'd like. But as I mentioned, the modules are organized by week, so that is really the best way to navigate the course, through the modules. And if you want to see announcements, you can go ahead and click here. You can also click here for assignments, but as you can see, all of the assignments pop up, so that's a little bit more scattered, so you would have to scroll down until you find the assignment that you are looking for. That's why I say it's best to go through modules, just so that you don't have to go through every single assignment. In modules, it's already organized. Also, make sure that you click your grades. This is the only tab that you can use for grades. Your grades, I think for students they might show up on the side, but I think for the most part this is the only tab that you can use. Also, if you want to access the syllabus, this takes you to the home page. And something else I wanted to point out is the ARC. We do offer online tutoring and in-person tutoring, so if you want to participate in in-person tutoring, you have to show up to one of the ARCs that we have at each campus, and you can just go ahead and ask them for help. If you want to do online tutoring, then you have to go ahead and register for their Canvas course, which is basically they just add you, and then you can go ahead and submit your paper to a tutor, and they'll help you within like a day or two. They'll give you feedback within a day or two. I do offer extra credit if you go to tutoring. So if you take one of the major essays, the visual analysis, the classical argument, and the portfolio, if you take those to tutoring, you get 5 points extra credit. And I do have a summary of tutoring session form that you have to fill out in order to get those 5 points extra credit. I also offer extra credit for events and, basically any school events that we have going on, any workshops, things like that. So I will let you know through announcements whenever there is an event going on, and I will also tell you how many points you can get for extra credit, and I will also tell you when that, assignment is due for extra credit. I do have an extra credit assignment, which I'll talk about, well, not talk, but you'll be able to see it throughout the semester. I'll remind you under announcements. And that one is worth 10 points. So definitely I encourage you to take advantage of all the extra credit you can. So whenever I post events, see if you can attend. Tutoring is another great option. Just because it's always great to have a little bit of extra credit just in case you need it. So that concludes this video. I hope that it was helpful. If there is anything that I did not address, or if there's any questions that you might have after reading the syllabus, please let me know and I will be happy to answer them for you.